Good morning, I'm John Forbes. I'm CEO of Heartthrob Exhaust. As you see, I have a broom in my hand, which means since I own the company, I can do everything and anything in the company that I wish to do. This morning we're getting ready to do a prototype on a 2011 Mustang GT. Yesterday we did the dyno runs on it. We got our baseline on the stock system. Today we're going to try to open up the exhaust. Well, we are going to open up the exhaust. Going to go from a 2 3/4 inch stock system to a mandrel bent to a 3-inch exhaust system. In a minute I'll show you take you underneath the car. We're going to show you what we're going to be doing, but first I got to get my floor clean so that I can go ahead and do a decent job and not hurt myself working today. Everything in stock formation. Let's just give you a little description of what's happening here on the stock system and what we plan on doing on our design and build. Starting at the catalytic converter, we have a step ball joint. We've invested in the tooling a couple years ago, and we've been licensed by Norma to reproduce this joint, one of the few companies in the United States allowed to do so. We're going to start right here with the OE joint, be able to use the OE style clamp and go back into the stock location with a stock type clamp with a 3-inch tube. Right now you can see we come off the catalytic converters on both sides with 2 3/4. They shrink down to 2 1/4 in this area. For some reason they go back up to 2 3/4. They shrink back down to about 2 1/4 again and go through a couple of resonators, which they have a dent in this side, control dent for some reason, but not on this side, which makes no sense to us. So we're going to eliminate that. We come straight back and go up and over. Again, we have a flattening in here which we're going to attempt to alleviate so we have better flow. And we go through a period of stock mufflers. This particular exhaust system is extremely quiet. In fact, you can't even hardly hear the motor run when you're cruising down the road, which is fine if that's what you want. But Mustangs are performance cars. They should sound like performance cars, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to give a performance sound. Right away, we're going to start with designing basically a axle back kit. We're going to go through with a straight through performance mufflers for those guys that want raw power. The other option is we do have resonators up in here which count as mufflers. We're also going to do a muffler eliminator pipe back here too for the guys that want even more sound. For the guys that are going to be racing and stuff, we're going to come with a system that will all bolt up in stock locations, and we'll do an enhanced H-pipe system, and we're going to do an X-pipe system. After we get done with this design and installing all these systems, we'll go back over to our dyno and we're going to do some horsepower testing. We're going to show you the difference between horsepower gains between an H-pipe that we design and an X-pipe that we design. We just took some points in space with that 5-axis arm. It's called a CMM, or computer measuring machine. We measured XYZs in space, and we came up with a little polyline in space, which right now I'm converting into a tube program. So basically I'm entering in the tube diameter I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be putting in the bend radius, which is going to be 4.5 inch centerline radius, and we're going to be bending on a mandrel tube bender, and this will give me my tube program. Okay, now I have my XYZs on my printout, plus my length, rotation, and angles, which is bend data that we're going to use back on the bender. Once this is done printing, we're going to take the data that we just got off the CMM, the laptop. We're going to go back to the tube benders, and we're going to input that data into our benders. Cutter tube, load our bender, push a button, and it's going to bend what we drew out. And we'll see how good we are. now we got our initial install on our prototype on our axle back, no muffler tailpipes. We're running with the factory H-pipe up there with the 2 resonators. At this point, we're going to pull down these pipes that we just got prototyped and in here. We're going to pull them down, finish welding them. We're going to build our fit jigs, and so we can install. So when we go into production on these things, we know exactly where the hangers go. And then when we've got that point done, then we'll go ahead and reinstall on the parts that we've just finished off the jig. We also designed these parts here that are on the car right now, so we put in 2 of our flow pack mufflers, which are straight through perf core type mufflers that use a stainless steel wrap and a fire to give you a straight through sound that will actually help tone them down a little bit over the stock or over the straight pipe system that we have on here right now. Okay guys, we're all done dynoing after we got our new flow pack system on here. We gained a whopping 12 horsepower from the axle back over the stock system. From here now we're going to go ahead and do a cat back system back to our flow pack system that we just installed. So we're going to try to gain even more horsepower by opening up that exhaust system for more pure power, more horsepower, and for even greater sound. We're going to start right at this point when we design the system and go 3-inch all the way through, eliminate this bottleneck for increased flow. Well, this is our new H-pipe catback system, and we're getting ready to, got the dyno results on it. Now we're going to get ready to replace that H and put in our X-pipe, which fits in the exact same location, with the same clamps. That will be the only difference between the kits, whether or not we put an H in here and X, and we'll do the dyno results, and we'll see which system wins. Well, we're back. We've got the whole exhaust system designed, prototype. We've got our jigs made. We've already fit the prototype to the car. Now we're going to go back and do the final install with the final product that we've designed. Up front here, coming off the cats, they're the same from left to right, but in between here we offer the option of either the H-pipe or the X-pipe. Now I know there's been a lot of hype in the last few years about the X and how much greater it is than the H-pipe. However, in our testing on our dyno, with the H-pipe, front pipe, the H-pipe, the muffler assembly, and the rear muffler assembly, we gained 22 horsepower. When we put the X in here and did our dyno testing, we only gained 6 horsepower. Now if you remember, I said we gained 12 horsepower in the rear with just a rear axle back kit. So, and by using an X-pipe up here, we are actually losing 6 horsepower over our total performance system by going this way. So, in our opinion, H-pipe is the way to go. Most of our competitions are still staying with the X-pipes. You guys be the judge on that, whether you want 22 horsepower or if you want 6 horsepower. You want to make sure that you safely jack up your car before you work on it. Make sure you're working off of jack stands or a hoist like we are. We're exhaust people, so we normally will work on a ramp style hoist. We do that so we know where the ride height of the exhaust system is going to be when we're all said and done. If you use a frame contact hoist where they attach, the pads come alongside the car or on the frame and the axles drop, you may have to drop her down, do some adjusting while it's on the ground, take it back up and tighten everything so you get your pipes in the exact location. But basically that's our exhaust system. We hope that you enjoy your exhaust system. We put a lot of time and energy. Heartthrob is where technology and craftsmanship come together. Thank you very much.